deceive. We have come into the night, plunder and rage in war a night. We have come into the night, plunder and rage in war a night. We'll fight for kings, for Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. I can feel it in my veins, the warrior inside of me. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. The sound of arms, fierce morality, nightfall the rain, and the silence leads. We have come into the night, plunder, rage, and war a night. We have come into the night, plunder, rage, and war a night. We'll fight for kings, for Ragnarok. Sail war. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. I can feel it in my veins, the warrior inside of me. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla.
Welcome all to Valhalla Esports Season 3, Week 5, where you have the exciting series of Night Raid Kraken Slayers. This is your caster, Malco, joined here by Tactic. How are you doing tonight?
Big chillin'.
You ready for the greatest of gameplays for today?
Yes, sir.
And on the beautiful production tonight is going to be Hailstrom. Thank you. Just wanted to just give him a shout out real quick and say thank you. And then also thank you, Fluffy, for the subscription with the Prime sub. Greatly appreciated. And thank you for your guaranteed. You also get your guaranteed 30 days of love from Valhalla Esports as well. So really quickly, just to get into these team matchups. We got, once again, Night Raid Owls versus Kraken Slayers. You want to go through the teams here?
So Night Raid Owls had a substitute for their top laner. They got Sergeant Slovaki, Kid Boo in the jungle, mid Cocaine, ADC Yukachu, and support Dainty Taco. On the side of Kraken Slayers, we got top Hailstrom, jungle Golden Pharaoh, mid Critter, ADC Console C, and support Killer Quat.
Good to see that the both with both teams here. I'm sure they're sure to give us a pretty exciting series. I'm very interested to see how this jungle matchup is going to go. Both these players tend to be very I'm looking at like both Kid Buu and Pharaoh. They tend to be very big upon like how they perform, at least as players. So they're gonna both be trying to. I feel like they will both be trying to go after one another with the way that their jungling styles are. So that's gonna be. I'm really gonna be looking at like a lot of the jungle rotations and then the top and mid rotations here. Obviously, I didn't see these games, so I'm actually very excited to cast them fresh off the boat and ready to go. You got no. We can get straight into the draft. And what's really cool here is that I like how our production just gets better and better. As you can see, the draft even emulates now. I'm here with the VODs. As we see, the first three bans for NRO were omitted here as per the rules of the league. So then we also see on the red side from Kraken Slayers, they end up banning Shyvana, Lilia, Gwen, taking all the junglers away from Kid Buu on the side of NRO. Then to start off with the picks here, we see the Nautilus and Morgana picked, NRO picking Nautilus, Morgana picking Kraken Slayer being picked by Kraken Slayers. Very interesting to see supports both picked immediately, even though the Morgana could potentially be flexed. And then we see the ADCs both being picked here as Kraken Slayer end up picking Caitlyn and Samira being picked by NRO. And then also getting the jungler secured here, as well as we see the top laner secure for Kraken Slayer being Garen, but the jungler on the side of NRO being Vi. And immediately into ban phase 2. Ban phase 2 being Fiora being the first ban for Kraken Slayer, Aurelion Sol being the first for NRO. Tom Kench finalizing the bans for Kraken Slayer, and to finalize the ban phase is going to be a Malzahar, and it immediately being picked, Udyr being picked, going straight to Pharaoh guaranteed. So we won't see any other possible flex picks going for the jungle. Then we see Camille picked for the top side of NRO. Swain to finalize the picks for NRO, and then Kraken Slayer is going to finalize their pick with Silas.
That went crazy fast.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually, I was actually surprised that went much faster than I was expecting. So how do you feel about both these teams here? Before we get into the game.
So I like Kraken Slayer's R1 and R2 answer to the B1 Nautilus pick, having the Morgana Black Shield to negate anything that Nautilus could want to do early game, on top of also answering Vi when it comes to ganks from the jungle. Be very useful. And of course, having Garen for Hailstrom is one of his comfort champions. Can't really complain about having the first letter of God spelled out, never a bad sign. Honestly, both drafts are pretty equal in my eyes. It'll just kind of come down to how much value Black Shield gets when it comes to team fighting slash skirmishing. Laning phase, it's going to get a lot of value, but it it gets a little tough being Morgana because of your slow movement speed. Being in range to Black Shield people when needed, but we'll have to kind of see how things shake out.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see. I mean, just from the way it looks, Silas, Garen, Udyr, all having their kind of their own sustainability within team fights. So I think it's going to be, at least it kind of makes the Morgana's job a little bit easier, because you can say that your priority protection for Black Shield should always be on top of Caitlyn, who doesn't have all that protection for themselves. So I think where you're saying that, I can see like where it definitely would not see maybe as much value. I can see where it might be like the team for Kraken Slayer might have made it easy for Morgana to be able to focus more so on just Caitlyn. And I think that's kind of like, kind of protect like, hey, Morgana, this is your job here. But it's definitely, there's still a lot of CC to go against Vi ult, the E from Swain. Then there's just way too much that potentially can like go wrong for the side of the side of Kraken Slayer with all the CC that they potentially have. So I'm excited to see where this game's gonna go.
Pharaoh clearly didn't watch Worlds. He doesn't know who Adam is.
Oh no. Alrighty, we're getting ourselves right into game. G for Gary. Oh, okay. We see. Oh, wait. Mid. All right. That's something I didn't even think about. It's a mid Samira. Now, I've never
30
I know that
seconds till
AD
minions
carries
spawn.
in, like, lane and stuff is very interesting, you know, solo lane AD carries is a very interesting, like, concept, but, like, any reason why Samira?
I'm not super familiar with Samira mid. Like obviously we've always seen like Tristana, Lucian traditionally be like your ADC mids with your occasional like Corki or Varus, but
Minions have
I
spawned.
could see it working out if you're really confident in your ability to outplay the Silas in most situations, because he only has one ability to really stop you from having your R continue to do damage. So it's kind of like a mind game of am I going to R or not?
Okay, that makes sense, and then if anything too, there's how easy would it be for Critter to be able to stack up like, you know, at level 6, stack up the ability to get to the S rank? You know what I'm saying? Especially if there's a lot of damage being dished out from Cocaine as well, on the other end. Um, so yeah, it kind of makes sense. It might be a lot better than we're expecting, so we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Plus, traditionally, Samira likes to go like a lethality start, which can be very difficult for most people to deal with mid lane just because they're not used to that kind of damage output.
Real quick,
At
we're
least
already
not
seeing.
that aren't like assassins anyway.
Initial CC all kind of just missing right now, but we'll see that start to stack up a little bit. I honestly kind of like this Caitlyn Morgana lane just for the sake of like just it being like a traditional like poke type of lane already. And even though if Swain and Nautilus can land their CC on the Caitlyn, it's definitely not going to be a fun time. Like so. As we see a little CC having a flash, ignited, having to take a turret shot. Morgana nearly went down, but so did Nautilus too. That could have been a trade for 1-for-1. So I'm curious. Okay, so we see both of the supports are opting to stay in, using up all their health pots. Little bit of damage being traded here in the mid lane. The Samira definitely holding their own. Swain landing down their CC, but so does the Morgana, stopping any more engage. But there was definitely a decent amount of damage dished out on the console there.
Directed camera is loving bot lane right now.
I know, like, is that where the... Oh, here we go. Here's top lane. See that? Oh, and then we see an immediate Q landing, but now just gonna be the flash out as the Udyr comes in to help his mid laner. Phoenix Dance gonna land onto them and keep them away. I believe, yes, that was a flash used by Critter to get away from all of that, but that was a nice gank right there from the Vi. Good job. And once again, right back at the bot lane as we go up to the top lane as well. Seeing a little bit of fighting going on. Hailstrom pushing. I'm not gonna attempt to say the name at this current moment because I don't know how to say it. Sergeant, pushing Sergeant in. There we go. We'll just shorten it down to Sergeant.
It's like it's like Slovakia.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
think of it that way.
Blitz saying no green junglers. Yeah, I guess no green junglers this time. I know the Vi's a green jungler is going the. Is it going green or just like literally no one's actually green right now? That's the whole meme. Like, it's not a Mumu Zac on the map.
Yeah, that's what that's referring to. I don't think I've ever really. Kid Boo's not very known for playing green junglers. Pharaoh kind of plays whatever is needed in the moment.
Pharaoh's a very much known as a very big fill player. He just like to play every single role. Hold on, as he's gonna show why he plays that fill role, and he took to take the jungle in. First blood as the Black Shield comes down to go ahead and protect him. Flash Q in from the Vi. Kid Boo getting stunned up by the Golden Pharaoh as he's gonna go ahead, shred you down. Zip, zap, you're going down as Killer Kumquat goes ahead and takes your life. 0-2 as 2 kills goes over to the side of Kraken Slayer.
I'm a little curious as to what the purpose of exhaust on Swain is. I've always preferred Ghost, but kind of concerned about the poking. But
Ooh.
it's
Oh. I'm not actually entirely sure, like, every, like, mechanic and how it works. But
so my big concern with the exhaust is Caitlyn naturally outranges Swain without him like landing any abilities. So in order for him to get in range to exhaust her specifically, he has to land his root and then pull her back and then possibly slow her. I mean, it's a lot more useful against like Garen or uh, Udyr when they're running at you, but typically I don't run summoners that aren't useful inside the lane. Just my personal take on it.
I mean, I think when you see though some of the threats that they do have that can probably just engage on you, such as like right now this Udyr that's looking to try to engage. Oh, but the miss chains as the Udyr goes in. Phoenix stance, Bear stance, trying to go in, get some stunned under the turret, but it's not gonna be enough. And Samir goes in, getting the ulti off as it's a double kill, going back in, but gonna end up dying to the Swain ultimate. Not a double kill, I'm entirely sorry. A 1-for-1 as the Samira trades his life for the Udyr, but then Critter ends up taking that kill and getting out alive.
That's kind of huge. Critter like traveled all the way bot lane just to take Swain ult and then immediately gets value out of it. That's kind of insane.
When I played on Goat Kings last season, our mid laner used to, when we used to have like practices, it was always a fun thing whenever we played Silas, because it would be like, oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and take this ultimate, and then he would just rotate back up to lane, and then all of a sudden a team fight happens. But he, like, I always love Silas players like that who like who just be like, oh, I'm gonna go take this ultimate now. Then they call out, so potentially you can actually like initiate a fight, or you know, gain some value from rotating around the map with your junglers and things like that. Just, you know, that's a good teammate. That's a good teammate to have, and that's definitely, like you said, really high value for the Silas. And we see the Sergeant going ahead and engaging on the Hailstrom, but looking like Director Camera decides that not much else is gonna happen. Definitely not as crazy of a lane right now, as we see Morgana get pulled in using the Black Shield a little too late, as the hook manages to land right on him and be able to jump on top of the Caitlyn. Not gonna be enough as everyone comes down. Ultimate lands right on top of them, and unfortunately Morgana, you're not gonna be able to get away, blocking the Caitlyn ultimate, so Dainty Taco gets to get away with their life as that kill goes right over to Swain.
These black shields, while they're like, they are providing value, they're just not providing value at the right time. It's getting a little rough.
Yeah, maybe sometimes it's like it's a matter of being reactive or proactive. Maybe sometimes like just being like, oh, let me just try to do it a little bit early. Like, I don't know. That's just something like for everybody. Like it's just different on how you play that with the Black Shield. Like, it's better just to use it off cooldown, or they'll figure it out. Just gotta figure out the pace of the game. Maybe he's downloading how the Nautilus and, you know, how the Swain uses their CC, and it's like, okay, I can kind of like bait it out and then use my Black Shield. Like, you gotta give him a chance to cook, you know. We're just about 10 minutes in, so we gonna get some things figured out. Takes a little time. We're just warming up. First game. Oh. had a slight freeze for a second and didn't see what was going on, but looks like I didn't really miss much on the map. But right now I'm looking at the directed camera because it should be looking at this top lane as we see the Vi coming in to try to gank on a Hailstrom, and unfortunately you're stuck between a rock and some fist as you try to dash away using the Q, but it's not gonna be enough as the ultimate comes out and Sergeant Suvlasky is gonna be able to slay Hailstrom. Oh, nice use of the Black Shield and to avoid the CC and being able to CC the Nautilus there. Oh, hold on, we got a nice little engage. He has it the S rank, but so do they both. And right now, Red Team's gonna go ahead and take full advantage of the fact that they know where everyone is. So Dragon goes over to NRL, or not NRL, Kraken Slayer. But then again, they're trading this up here too as well, trying to get the Rift Herald for the side of NRL, and that's going to be a nice little trade on each side of the map. Game's still relatively even in kills, gold, just about the lanes are all even. Hold on, was not expecting that engage as they use the stolen ultimate, and Silas is gonna barely be able to get away. No, he's not, as the real ultimate comes out. NRO catching a real good fight in that mid lane as they get to be able to slay down Critter and Pharaoh.
Yeah, and he's going straight for Collector. It's gonna get so much rougher. I think since it's Kid Buu with the Herald, I think you use it mid to snowball this Samira.
Not gonna be enough. That was a kind of waste. And yeah, you're right, because at this point you might as well just get the. You see where if once they get into like a lot of team fights, it's just gonna end up being, hold on, I think we got a small little fight going on as the Camille attempts to E in onto Hailstrom, but Hailstrom going ahead and gonna keep trying to fight him on his own. Goes in, silences him as we see the spin coming up, but that's a lot of damage as the Vi comes down here, launch and gets console C in. Yuka's gonna be able to take that kill. Oh, but Silas is here as the Vi re-engages. Kid Buu is now caught in between the Morgana and the Silas. Silas stealing the ultimate from Swain, waiting to go in as he takes the Swain ultimate. He's staying in between all of them. The Morgana Q is going to be able to land, but unfortunately Critter, you're actually going to be able to take him. It's actually a double kill for Critter. Why did it look like Critter died on my screen? That was weird. I just had a weird spectator bug. No, no one else saw that. No, that's weird. Alright, I'm just blind. And I don't think, Sergeant, you wanted to be directly under a Garen's turret as he's trying to go in on you, but you dropped the ultimate on him. He drops the ultimate on you, and you're going to be the one that's going to be coming out on top. 3-0-1 right now for the Sergeant up top on this Camille.
Yeah, since Camille has Divine Sunder already completed, it gets really rough for Garen. Even when he gets items, Camille should always win the 1v1.
Yeah, that champion does not look like fun. But personally, I hate top lane. But Sergeant, you might have gotten a little bit too greedy for this, as it's gonna be kind of hard to get away from an Udyr. But you do have your jungler there, and Udyr knows better just to walk away. He might just stick around for a little bit, but it might not be the place he wants to stay. Never mind, he leaves, and then now we're elsewhere. Oh, yep, need one more auto. There you go. And right now, we're starting to see, like, this is probably closer to, like, the real first lead of the game. Hold on, Kid Buu looking to engage on top of Hailstrom. Gonna land a bit of damage. Hailstrom trying to just get this ward. And he just might be able to do it. No, because right now, Kid Buu going to re-engage. But Hailstrom trying to stick it out and fight on top of this Vi. The Vi now backing off. Not sure if they can actually take this fight. We're probably waiting for Camille to get there, but I don't think Hailstrom was falling for that. Oh, they didn't know. But right now, Morgana was able to catch Cocaine out. Literally CCing him down, not being able to engage on much more. As Dainty was trying to really set him up there for an insane potential maybe even double kill down there now with that full collector. turret goes down up in this top side, and now the Sergeant is completely safe as he goes ahead and traps in Hailstrom. This is another 1v1 that we're going to end up seeing. That's a lot of damage from the True, and wow, Rampage for this Camille up in the top lane.
And the tough part is there's not really a champion that can really deal with Camille effectively on their team.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage. Wait, does she have the ultimate? Oh, that's not a dead Swain. That's so unlucky for Console. I'm so sorry, my man. Oh, and then you have Cocaine coming down here in this bot side, just immediately engaging, flashing in. That's an immediate death as the Console goes down to Cocaine. This is looking kind of rough right now for the side of Kraken Slayers. Oh, but Hailstrom's looking like he's trying to get his revenge. He flashes in, dunks on him, but it's not enough as the Ignite comes down, trying to go ahead and get that shut down. Getting yourself on the board there. Hailstrom, first kill, and a good shutdown on that Camille. And they're looking to fight as the Vi ultimate is stolen. There's so much fighting going on as Critter is now officially going on a killing spree. Now Samir, your ultimate's not going to mean anything even with that collector. Kraken Slayers, all of a sudden I said it's looking rough, and now it's looking rough for the NRO as Critter's going in, stuns up, going in to slay him down. The Q lands, and good job, shut down. Critter showing absolute prowess on this 5-1 and 2 on this Silas.
Did they ever use that Herald, or did they use it top?
I think they used it top to propel the Camille forward, and they ended up getting the first turret. But now the game just immediately went. Actually, the gold lead literally just swung completely over after all of that. At first, it was about a 1.7k gold lead for the side of NRO. As soon as that fight came out, and now that they're gaining some turrets, they're at a 2k gold lead for the side of Kraken Slayers. So this is very interesting development to see how that much changed, especially when like the initial beginnings just looked extremely rough, especially seeing like you already see 3-1. She was originally 3-1 and 2 on the Samira, and now it's just like, oh wait, getting caught out. But I don't think, oh, the bit using the wind wall to be able to whiff it all as the fight engages and begins. But I don't think Dainty's gonna be able to chase him down. But Pharaoh changes focus as he sees Kid Buu trying to go around, and not gonna be enough as your life gets slain. As Caitlyn takes down her own girlfriend, and it's gonna be another kill for her. As that was the double kill, and Critter goes on a domination. Go ahead and take this turret as you guys go ahead and take whatever objectives you want. You're in complete control of this map. That is a 4-for-0 on the side of Kraken Slayers.
Yeah, Critters have been getting amazing value from stealing ultimates and like rotating at correct times.
And it's definitely propelling this this team forward. Right now sitting at just under a 4k gold lead, and they're only propelling forward, taking all the objectives on the maps, basically starving the side of NRO of any potential coming back in this game. And if they can just keep propelling themselves forward with this lead, it's looking like it's probably going to be maybe a 30-minute game, depending if the teams depending on how even the teams play, and they just don't let themselves get caught out, give up a bunch of like their shutdown gold and all that kind of stuff. But it's looking like right now the team is definitely playing on good form.
The big problem is if all Samira really needs is one good team fight, and it just kind of tilts back the other way pretty quickly.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be one of their major focuses, is probably the Samira. But it's kind of hard because, well, I mean, for Samira it's hard for her too, because she kind of wants to go all balls to the wall. And you do have kind of like a point and click silence, and then one point and click CC right there for the moment she does go in. So I think like they definitely taking that into account. But yeah, as you said, if she can just go in on one really good fight, it's basically swinging right back over for the side of NRO. And, I like giving this to Hailstrom down here, give him a chance to try to help progress this bot lane a little bit more. Oh, Dainty, you better try to get away. Udir's definitely going to want to chase you. And the rest of the team is right behind him, getting you off of any possible way of invading onto their side. And they're looking like they want to go up towards this Baron. Actually, they're pretty strong. I don't know if they can't do it, but I mean, they definitely want to try to get some vision and definitely try to get some more information around there. Still right now, both teams just kind of deciding to just play the vision war right now. I don't want to spoil too much, but the Samira does in fact. You know, I'll still we'll see if we take your word for it. I'm very curious to see how this goes. Oh, yep, Dainty, that's getting blocked for you. So close for your life getting taken, but luckily it did not.
A lady never dirties her hands.
But right now, let's definitely give some credit where credit is due. The teams are definitely slowing this game down now. Like it doesn't feel like everyone's just kind of like farming at this point. No one wants to push the envelope right now.
Honestly, this benefits NRO really well, but at the same time, if you're the Kraken Slayers, you don't want to push too hard because you've got some bounties, and if you overstep, that puts way too much money in enemies' pockets.
And unfortunately, Camille's getting caught up in the middle of everybody as Critter goes godlike, using the stolen Vi ultimate to stick onto the Camille. Nothing she could do, getting caught down there from 4-0-1 now to 4-3-1. Definitely a big turnaround for the side of for Kraken Slayers. Now who's lying? You know, I'm all for a scrappy game, and right now Kraken Slayer utilizing their full advantage to try to take this Baron. They're actually shredding through it real quickly. I don't think the Camille's gonna make it in time as long as he has the smite. Red team goes ahead and slays the Baron as the Sergeant tries to go, but not getting over the wall. She's gonna have to use the flash as the Vi ultimate comes down, trying to drop on top of Udyr, but now you're in the middle. 3 versus 1, not gonna be enough as Cocaine is caught in the middle of all them. Jumps up in the middle and she pops off as a big shutdown goes over to Cocaine, jumps out and is managing to get out alive, barely on any HP, taking the Caitlyn with you as the Sergeant goes ahead and takes down the support, but Hailstrom getting revenge for his support as he takes out the top laner. Silas now caught in between the support and technically the AP carry, but healing so much damage, and is it gonna be enough? Critter going legendary as he's able to take out both. Double kill going over, and now Cocaine trying to run away from the Garen, but you don't run away from Garen. Garen runs to you. That is an ace for the side of Kraken Slayers. That is the Baron for the side of Kraken Slayers, and still 3 Barons alive.
And it's really rough because there's not really a good person on an RO to really build anti-heal. Probably Swain would be your best bet. Vi can build it pretty effectively just by getting Bramble Vest, but it gets a little rough with Bramble Vest if Morgana Black Shields the Silas. Vi would have to have somebody nearby that can break it, otherwise it doesn't technically apply the Grievous wounds because you're not CCing them unless he auto attacks her.
So right now this is looking kind of rough for the side of NRO right now. This is looking a little rough. I mean, if the Vi wants an easier application of it, it might not be the best, but she could still maybe use what's it called, the Mortal Reminder, just to make it, or even like I think it's Chemtech Punk Sword, but hold on as the stolen ultimate is used by this Silas to try to get in on the Sergeant, but Sergeant now getting caught up by the E. The Silas just showing the maximum gameplay as he's still legendary, 12-1-4, as Cocaine's gonna have to run away for his life. Critter looking real dominant and real confident as they're trying to sit here and push the envelope, getting more of these lanes pushed out as the Garen just continues to push out this bot lane. He's just keeping them, and they're just keeping the rest of them up top side.
It's just the Hailstorm special. It's like, I may not be useful to my team, but I'm going to be useful to my team at the same time. Smile.
Listen, guys, I just don't bother me, and I got you. Don't worry about me.
Guys, I'm hunting alone. Don't worry about it.
No, you're not useless, Hailstrom. Come on now. Like, not at all. Stop that. Literally, look at you. Like, you have a 500 gold shutdown right now in this game. I don't think that seems useless to me.
You're just playing solitaire while everybody else is playing League of Legends. It's fine.
It's perfectly okay. We know you got, maybe you got team fight tactics on the phone on the side, but hold on, Stolen Nautilus ultimate's not gonna be enough. Oh yeah, no, it ends up being enough to save him, or at least.
I'm a little confused of what happened there. Was that Vi ult that stopped him from taking the blast cone?
Interesting. I honestly,
because he hit blast cone and all he did was pop up into the air straight up. But I think that was Silas stolen Vi ult is what that was.
Okay, that makes sense now. Or Nautilus our ultimate. That was not. Yeah, you're right. Yep, Nautilus knocked him up in the air, so that's why it looked so weird. Oh, I'm so sorry, Vi console, getting another kill for yourself as you guys invade into the enemy jungle and take their lives with them.
Well, either way, it looked really goofy.
That's why it always looked. That's why it looked so funky. And Hailstrom definitely showing now why he should be confident, especially when he's got his jungler up top side, 1v2 against the top laner, and the jungler is the new top laner going on a rampage. And we see now in this bot lane, the Critter being able to get the stolen Swain ultimate, keeping him alive. And unfortunately, the Cocaine, even with the Collector, is not going to be enough to slay his life. As this double kill comes out, Critter just going under the turret and not caring, but your life getting taken by the Swain as you get shut down from the turret shots. And that's crazy because that's what it took to get that away from you. It wasn't anybody actually fighting you. It was the turret that finally did you in. Oh yeah, he had Rylai's. That slow is OP. Alright, so 11k gold down. This is looking very interesting. The team is looking very strong. Kraken Slayer definitely had a little bit of a slide in the beginning of the game where it seemed like, oh yeah, like NRL is really playing to like how their comp's supposed to play. But then all of a sudden, like, we see obviously Critter just turns on, like just said, okay, Silas switch on. And all of a sudden, boom, game blows wide open. Pharaoh just happens to be everywhere, getting the bear stand CC down on the people when it's needed. Literally, Hailstrom's just been pushing the lanes, and in the moment that they just need this face tank, all of a sudden he's just there. I don't like, that's kind of what I've been observing. It's like, okay, I'm in a lane. Okay, now I'm here. Like, Garen just appears from the side of the map you weren't expecting. Like right now, and he's just running away. But he also has his team here, ready to go ahead and help him with the fight. As the ultimates are being used, as Vi goes in, jumps in with her ultimate, and she's now separated by everybody else. Console C getting taken down by Kid Buu as the Camille ultimate came down to keep you shut down. But we're also seeing a shutdown on the Garen. This is where the pop-off they were talking about was coming from. His Cocaine is chasing down on the Golden Pharaoh. Another shutdown going immediately right over to the Samira. And you're caught in between a rock and a hard place. You're now in the wrong area. Killer Kumquat trying to take that kill for himself onto the Vi, as they do, having to trade his life. But they're going to trade the team's life for this Drake.
So this is the big problem, is that all the gold is on the Silas. So if NRO continues to find windows like that where they can fight without Silas interrupting, then they definitely have the opportunity to get back in this game.
And, that was definitely a lot of shutdowns going over to the carry with right now Right now, the Samira definitely looking pretty strong, and as you said, like the Silas wasn't there to actually be a part of that fight though. So I don't think we should definitely count out like, yeah, you gave a couple shutdowns here and there, but I don't think we can really count out Kraken Slayers just yet, especially considering they did build a surmountable enough gold lead where it doesn't matter as much that they lost this one fight. It was just like, okay, our Silas wasn't there. Next time we have Silas with us, we definitely win that. So I think that's kind of how they're probably not too worried at this point about that one fight being lost. Definitely a mental raiser, you know, definitely a good mental raiser for the side of NRL though. That, you know, you kind of need that, like, oh yeah, our Samira just big popped off on some big shutdowns, and we managed to get the Infernal Drake, get some objective gold shutdowns. Like that's some good stuff. That's definitely something that teams need for morale at some point during the games. But again, you still have to go through the 14-2-5 Silas that does a lot of damage, heals a lot, and even with that morale Nomicon, I'm not sure how much it's really gonna matter. Oh, so, yep, and here's the Silas with the Swain ultimate. Silas might want to try to use the Zonias here as you're caught up in the middle of everybody. Console seeing being able to take out Kid Boo Boo. Cocaine getting into the middle of the backline to take the shutdown right onto both Caitlyn and Silas, as the Camille's going to be able to take down Udyr. 4 teammates now being slain for the side of Kraken Slayers. Are they actually healthy enough to be able to take this Baron? No, they all decided that they are not. Backing off from this is another really big fight. This time the Garen not being here for this fight led to potentially the demise of the rest of the team, and that is the reason why being caught in those big 4v5 moments, that's what's possibly going to end up doing it in for Kraken Slayer. Hold on, but Hailstrom says I'm making up for it because of the fact that I wasn't there doesn't mean that you're getting away. Dainty get slain as Hailstrom takes the kill from Dainty Taco, taking another kill from the mid laner. Oh, does he know that he's there? No, he doesn't. He's able to get away. Yukahu being able to escape the wrath of the Garen.
That was a really unlucky fight for Critter because his hourglass was maybe like 6 seconds from coming off cooldown right as he like got in the middle of the team fight. That feels really bad.
I know, and again, that's where the Morel Nomicon definitely made a difference, because if there was no anti-healing there, probably would have lived a little bit longer to potentially get to his Zonias and stay within that fight. I do see though, again, the Samira, they can't lose the focus on the Samira because she's definitely an issue. And again, also with Sergeant Savlovsky up there, he definitely doing some work with the Camille. Yeah, he had a little slump in the mid game, but now they're starting to pick back up their form, and now they brought this from a 10k gold deficit down to about 5k gold deficit. So we're starting to see a swing go back to the side of NRO. Critter showing no fear as we see Hailstrom about to engage. Stridebreaker drops on top of Camille to slow her down as we see both of the ultimates being used, but Camille definitely dropping a lot of damage. Shut down on this Camille though, going over to Hailstrom. A little bit more items and a little bit more damage, but we saw that 2 are now down in the bot lane. So instead, we're going to try to take this Baron as we know that your team is nowhere around. But we do see that the Udyr is waiting around the corner as we're looking to see Silas by, and we see the TP coming in. They were not ready for this as Udyr attempts to go in. The Nautilus ultimate, the Swain ultimate, stolen in as the Cocaine goes in, and he's dominating on top in the middle of the entire fight. Popping off, but shut down now as Critter's now once again popping off with the stolen Swain ultimate. Double kill as Console goes ahead and takes another life with a double kill of his own. That is an insane team fight. You sacrifice your jungler, but that takes the other 5 lives. Kraken Slayer looking like they trying to take their first game 1.
Silas kind of always reminds me of like a Viego situation where it's like my champion can utilize your kit better than your champion does almost.
Oh, but this Camille is like, hold on, y'all not ending this game on me, not yet. We see the stopwatch come out. Oh my god, that damage. I feel so bad for this Caitlyn. Feeling like an ADC when you see them just jump on top of you. You do have Dainty Taco now up, so they're saying back off. We can only take this in hit. We thought we could take game, but it wasn't enough damage. It wasn't enough timers. And right now I even thought they might have taken the game one there, but looking like now it's just gonna be a fight over this soul. And this actually might be the thing that does drop the game here. And I think the soul just is about to get eviscerated, as right now Hailstrom's just keeping them distracted. Red team takes the Drake and they get the soul, as right now Sergeant's trying to go in on top of the support, but you got to remember that you got a top laner and a jungler chasing right after you as Hailstrom goes ahead and he's going on to a killing spree. Spin to win as we go ahead and see the evisceration of the Nautilus down bot side, as we see also right in the middle of them Cocaine going ahead and trying to take some names as he goes ahead and kills the Garen, going into a double kill shutdown, jumping right into the middle, triple kill, quadra kill, as we get it. Did we finally see it happen? No. Did not get the pentakill. It was so close. Only 4 pieces of Exodia drawn for you there, Cocaine. I'm so sorry.
So, this is why I'm glad Duskblade is getting removed. Because of nonsense like that. Like, even after they nerfed the interaction of Duskblade and Samira, it's still strong. It's ridiculous.
Believe it or not, I haven't seen this particular interaction with Samira as of late, but this is absolutely disgusting. Just jumping right into the middle of everybody, kill, reset, basically. This is not okay to me.
Yeah, this is the nerfed version of it. Like, it was worse.
Oh no. We're at the point of, like, now this is definitely the late game. And now it's all about who outplays who, and this Samira is ready to get the maximum outplay. Like Samira, yeah, exactly. Samira had IE before this game, like before this even started. I remember seeing the IE earlier in the game. Go and now you swap, like.
The Duskblade should have been the build the entire time, in my opinion. Just, like, I understand the IE build does more damage, but the Duskblade, you proc it in teamfight, and that gives you that extra few seconds to reposition and get your R off again.
And she's going insane with the double lifesteal with the Bloodthirster and the shield bow, so there's so much sustainability when she just jumps into the middle. So it may seem like, oh yeah, she's an 80 carry, but she's deceptively tanky. With also now the Knight's Vow coming down onto oh, we see them jump into the middle of them as Console C's able to take out Yukahu because the Stolen Swain ultimate right in the middle, as he's going immediately targeting the right person as we're trying to jump on the Cocaine, and that's the person you want to jump on. Shut down as the Samir goes down because we have the Sergeant in the backline along with Dainty, but it's not going to be enough as we see them double kill going over to the Caitlyn, and everybody, it's a clean ace. Kraken Slayer completely alive, and they're looking like they're finally trying to slay down this base, taking out this Nexus and taking down their first game one.
Kraken Slayers finally break the curse of losing game one every single time.
Took long enough.
Took long enough, yeah.
That's you know what, that's a good thing for them, because now you just have to go in off the, you know, riding the high and be like, cool, we can now go into game 2 knowing that we have that little bit of an advantage. So I'm sure that'll be greatly appreciated for them. But congratulations on that game 1. I'm just gonna critter on that one. That the really good Silas performance.
Yeah, I have to agree. He got like insane every time he stole an ultimate. He got really good value out of it. So I mean, you can't really ask for more from when you pick Silas for that exact reason and just get crazy value out of it.
I love seeing Silas in this league in particular because it's one of those champions that does get consistent. I feel like it's a consistently picked champ. And with it being consistently picked enough, you do see the players who, like, you know, you can tell they actually are skilled on it. And it's just like, oh, we always forget about this champion existing. Let's ban that next game. And I'm not going to be surprised if Silas is on the ban list next game.
Yeah, every team tends to draft towards wombo combo slash team fight comps. So I would say a good 75% of the time you're gonna get high value out of a Silas pick, unless you just fall behind and then it just feels bad. In general, you're gonna get value out of it.
And right now we see on screen NRL being falling down in that game one. Definitely had some glimpses of potentially taking the game and swinging the game back in their favor. But good for Kraken Slayers being able to go ahead and mitigate that from mitigating the Samira especially and being able to close that game out for themselves. If we are ready to go, we can get ourselves into the next draft whenever you guys are ready. Oh yeah, and look what I said. What I say for first, literally first ban Silas Shavana on the side of Kraken Slayers. Then we see the Jax ban on the side of Night Raid Owls. Lilia being banned immediately for Kraken Slayers, and then we see the Gwen ban coming out for the side of Kraken Slayers, with then Morgana being banned from Night Raid Owls. And in response, knowing that they don't have to worry about that Black Shield, they take the Maokai for the side of Night Raid Owls on their first pick. And a response for the first picks is going to be on Kraken Slayer side is Nautilus. And I want to see what they're going to pick next because they definitely gave away the support. Perfect. And Jarvan being their jungler. Oh, I love I love seeing Jarvan right now. Definitely one of my favorite junglers to watch. Then we see being picked on the side of Night Raid Owls is going to be the Wukong. Okay, that's going to be very interesting because we can see Wukong like mid top jungle. We do potentially see support top jungle for the Maokai. So we definitely can they can just pick their ADC here with the Xayah being picked up for Night Raid Owls. And in response, Kraken Slayer is definitely emulating the previous comp, and they're picking Swain for themselves on the enemy side for the first round to finish off the first round. Then we're gonna end up seeing these next ban phases is looking like Fiora into Malzahar, then Camille being banned, good ban for this one. They definitely had a respect ban on that one. And then the Garen being banned from Night Raid Owls. And we see the Trendemir being picked up for the Kraken Slayers immediately. Interesting. I haven't seen that champion in quite some time. Oh man. Okay, I'm giving it to Night Raid Owls. I hate this champion so much. It's doomed. It's doomed. I'm sorry. Anytime I see a Tom Kench, I just throw my hands in the air, man. I can't stand this champion. But and then to finalize their picks, Night Raid Owls immediately picks the Oriana. And then Kraken Slayer decides to go for the Ziggs. Wow. Very interesting team comps on both sides.
So the one glaring weakness that I see with Kraken Slayer's comp versus Night Raid Owl's comp. So if Trendemir builds the split push, they don't really have a great answer to the double tank into Bruiser that Night Raid Owls drafted. Sure, your Swain's gonna traditionally build like Leandries and Demonic Embrace, but if we're if we're understanding that Trendemir's not going to be in most of the fights, as of course I'm speaking hyperbolically, it just kind of depends on what happens. But if that's what happens and you just stack MR, it's very difficult for Kraken Slayers to fight the 4v4 hypothetically.
And generally, if you have a Tryndamere split pushing, it's probably going to more than likely be a lot more 5v4s than anything else. So this is definitely looking like a potential rough game for Kraken Slayers. We'll have to see how they play this out.
Because even if Jarvan goes like the damage build, he can get easily popped by the back line because Ori Xayah are very difficult to kill for him, at least solo. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how these like skirmishes slash team fights play out.
It'll definitely. Like I said, the champions. Like I'm looking at the team fight. Like you're gonna literally see there's three different ways to get the ball into the middle of their team and team fight. And it sucks because you have both Jarvan and Swain and Nautilus who want to try to go in the middle of you if they're not peeling for the rest of their team somehow. So it's like it almost feels like NRO, like they went for full team fight Wombo, yes, but at the same time, it just feels like NRO almost like they kind of anti your comp at the same time because the last thing you want to do is get a 4-man like Jarvan Cataclysm with the Wukong in the middle of that. So that's kind of like I don't know, it's weird, but never loses game 2 though. So oh, all right, all right. So you're telling me that this is about to be a 2-game series? That's what I want to see. All right, cool. So you saying I get to rest my voice tonight? I bet. So we about to go complete hype on this game. That's what I want to see. All right, all right. As we get right into the game. So from what I'm hearing, we're about to see a really crazy game right now. We're about to see We're about to see right now Hailstrom about to absolutely stomp on this split pushing Tryndamere. Golden Pharaoh about to be landing these 4 or 5-man cataclysms and absolutely getting the basketball hoop landed in by Critter. We're about to see why Console picked this Swain, trying to show him why the Soigné is on their side. Oh, come on. I want to see this. All right. Kraken Slayers never lose game 2. So I want to see Kraken Slayers win this game too. Oh, Tom Kench doesn't know he's caught. He's sandwiched in between 2 different people. That's gonna be some easy damage. Uses the W, but the E over the wall to chase him down. Hailstrom wanting to get a little bit more damage onto him, but that's probably gonna force him to at least back if he doesn't want to use any pots. So good little start. See, you putting the pressure on. That's what I like to see. Critter's like, I got no faith in my own team. Dang, man. There's a first for everything.
Yeah, you won. I mean, you won your first game, so that means it's the first time to lose game 2, right?
It's only Murphy's Law, right? In some way.
That is Murphy's Law. You broke the cycle, so therefore the cycle has to break you.
Ooh, I like that. I like the way that works. Yeah, you're. And also, I actually want to I think this is a champion that honestly, like, Zaya specifically, what I'm talking about, is a champion that I'm actually kind of scared to see, especially paired up with a champion like Maokai, because she just does so much damage for some reason. Like a really good Zaya have her feathers down so quickly and just shred you like nothing, and you're just like, where did all this damage come from? So I'm very excited to see how this actually goes for this bot lane. It's gonna be definitely a switch from the other game. Oh, and we see a little bit of fighting going on the top side. Again, you know, Hailstrom said he's ready. Oh, the pullback from the Swain makes the hook miss from Kumquat. That's a little bit of miscommunication between teammates, but at least right now we do see the Wukong is right here in this bot side currently backing. Are you gonna back all the way? No, he decides to stay yep, we're probably gonna end up seeing us here. Nope, he's not going to. He's gonna end up backing all the way. But what they don't know is that Hailstrom is sitting here and waiting. Critter going ahead and having a little fight with Cocaine. Oh, come on. Nope, not going to be enough to bait him. I feel like he knows that something might be there. There's no reason why Critter's that far into his own jungle, into the enemy jungle, if something wasn't going on. So good call out from Cocaine not to follow up and be greedy for that. And definitely didn't give up first blood and definitely gave him his life. And Kid Buu doesn't lose that blue buff there as he ends up smiting it away. So this is the really early point of the game. Not much hype stuff happening just yet. Like right now, both mid laners are kind of low on mana, so they can't really fight each other too much. But it's looking like top lane definitely wants a little bit of a scrappy scrap here. The Tryndamere is just dropping a lot of damage. Ghost being used, the shield being used by the Tom Kench. But Tom Kench, you're not gonna be able to get away as Hailstrom wants to chase you down, but he's not gonna be able to chase you down anymore. Does not have level 6 yet, so you can't just chase on the turret like it's nothing. Oh, the Red Camera decided to go to bot lane because bot lane's gonna end up having a little fight going on as the twisted tree goes right into them, stopping Killer Kumquat from being able to do any more CC to Yukahu, saving Yukahu not having to use any sums at all in that exchange. Good hook landed there, but not fun. As the Wukong comes in from out of nowhere, flash being used by the Swain to not be enough to get him away. First blood going over to the Xayah, and good flash hook from Killer to be able to get away from the rest of that engage and not having to lose his life. But he decides to stay instead, which potentially could be a mistake. You're really low health here. If they decide that they want to push this in and dive you under the turret, Dainty's healthy enough to sustain a lot of that turret damage. They really could. And instead, no, they decided to play it safe and back off.
Yeah, Swain would be too close for them to get away.
Yeah, and that would have to have been a trade of 1-for-1. That's why Killer ended up staying there. Didn't want to waste any potential XP and everything they could have gotten, which was smart on their part. Real good first blood going over to the ADC of NRL. That is actually a very good place you want a first blood to go over to. Definitely propelled this ADC forward, being able to bring back more items and things like that. As you can see, already has the Noon Quiver built fully. But the Swain is definitely staying on top of things, being able to get themselves the Lost Chapter on their first back after that death. Oh man, I think I kind of like, yeah, I just like this overall team comp way better. Oh man, Killer, you just don't know what you might have gotten yourself into. Never mind, you managed to turn away and get away just in time, so they're not going to chase you down. But man, there was real potential for another kill. Lethal Synergy, thank you for the subscription with the Prime sub. Thank you. And here you are, your guaranteed stamp of love from Valhalla Esports for 30 days. And it's your 3 months. Thank you, thank you. And right now, this is the game I'm supposed to be hyping up, but like we just got the gameplay going so, you know, so neutral right now. Like we got that one little bit of hype in the bot lane, a little bit of a falter for the side of Kraken Slayers, but they're gonna pick it back up. They're gonna pick it back up again. They don't ever lose game 2s, guys. They don't lose game 2s. Oh, but interesting being directly under his turret like that. Good securing of the. Okay, never mind. You knew what you was doing, Hailstrom. You knew exactly what you was doing. I gotta trust you. Just gotta trust you.
Yeah,
what's up?
When you try to fish for plates in this lane, I've played this particular matchup several times. It's really rough, and it gets a lot rougher once Tom Kench gets its Hearth Steel, which is why you have to rush your Bork like he's doing.
Yeah, which I don't like the way this is going, as we see the Ghost being used by both of these champions, but immediately gets eaten. Level 8 already versus the level 7 of the Tryndamere. He tried to use that W to get away, but it's not going to be enough as Hailstrom takes the solo kill up in the top side. Oh, and Pharaoh's eagerly awaiting under the turret. He's looking for this lane gank. Oh, there was a, yep, the sapling now sitting in the brush. Not going to be a good idea for Pharaoh to step up. Don't want to waste too much time. Would probably be better off maybe walking away from here. Actually, maybe not, as we see the Wukong currently trying to make his way down towards the bot side. But he's also backing, so never mind. Alrighty, so both teams finally, you know, the big solo dolo hype, man. That's what I like to see. Hailstrom showing why they're not gonna lose this game. So, all right, I got the confidence is built back up, guys. Yeah, you guys keep it the solo bowl, but it's the dolly for me. As we see, oh wait, never mind. I thought a little fight was gonna start, but Nautilus was way too far back to get anything out of that. And honestly, I don't think right now you really want to try to fight a level 6 Zaya. It's extremely difficult to even get any of that CC. She basically has a double cleanse in a sense. Like, so it's just like, oh, any CC she sees, okay, cool, press R. Oh, you're gonna try to get more CC, cleanse, and then flash. She's deceptively difficult to stick onto, and I think that's part of the reason why AD carries love her, but so many people hate going against her. And Hailstrom going in again, not being able to stop the Tahm Kench from disengaging, but it's gonna be like Golden Pharaoh instead engaging on top of Kid Buu as Kid Buu uses the Wukong ultimate, twisting around, going around the world as he jumps back on the Golden Pharaoh, takes the kill for him. Kid Buu has slain the Golden Pharaoh, but right now Tahm Kench gonna try to eat the Wukong to try to get him away. That's a huge shield as he's able to just turn around and walk away. The Ziggs ultimate not gonna be able to land enough any damage at all actually to be able to take Kid Buu's life, as Sergeant uses the W to go ahead right back over again.
It's actually good news if you're in Hailstrom's position, because now Tahm Kench doesn't have ult for you.
Yep. So you can actually, yeah, at this point, he probably could fight this, especially once he has the full charge of his heal. But Tahm Kench is also a deceptively hard champion to fight against, and I don't know. It's just one of those champions that like you probably will end up banning after seeing this game, and it's just a champion that wins for some reason. I don't know why it does, but no matter what they do, no matter how they nerf it, it just the damn catfish just doesn't go away. This and Yumi is what I hate the most. But oh, so close to landing the flag and drag to try to disrupt his escape. Sergeant sitting there probably laughing and just having a good time. He was able to get away so easily. But, you know, still fairly even up on the top side. So Hailstrom not worried about it. All right, time to start getting these mid laners involved. What we about to see? All right, I'm seeing we see the first major objective secured for the blue team as they take the Cloud Drake, but we do see Kraken Slayer right now taking the Rift Herald for themselves as they are able to secure that, and they give it right over to the Jarvan. And it looks like Jarvan's right now trying to get this mid lane active as he's looking to steal in the jungle, but potentially maybe make something happen down bot here. Fish for that one plate, little solo plate. Critter getting a little extra gold and being ahead in the CS difference here is you know, just a little up to like 12 CS, not too much, but definitely showing a little bit of advantage. Still very even game overall though. Extremely even game at this point. Now we're 13 minutes in, and it just needs to, these need to like be like one big team fight, but both of these teams are kind of just splitting the map in a sense. Oh, Pharaoh is directly behind this Tahm Kench, wanting to make a round 2 happen. The Ghost being able to make it happen, but the Cataclysm, he still gets out. That's an ultimate used. Ghost used by the Tahm Kench, but that's the ultimate used by the Jarvan. I'd say it's a decent trade. But man, that's just unfair, man. All that use, you can't stick onto him. But we see all these ultimates being used down the bot side as Killer Kumquat's gonna go down to Yukahu. And we see that the Swain ultimate is going to keep being activated as the Wukong attempts to continue to engage onto him. But we see now with everything going on in the bot side, they're going to take advantage of this and try to make something happen in the top side as they end up taking the first turret up there as well, using the Rift Herald. And so now this looks like now Tryndamere has potential more free reign to be able to just roam and do whatever he feels like. And they're still chasing down this Swain in the bot lane. They really want to trade up that turret. And unfortunately, it's looking like they're going to be able to, as Dainty Taco is able to take a kill on the console. But Nautilus being caught up and under there. So trying to get Kid Buu, but you're not going to be able to. Instead, it's going to be Yukahu going on a killing spree. But hold on, Trendemir's here. He's looking like he wants to be able to get this kill. Killer Kumquat being able to take one kill for himself as Yukahu's caught between both of them. Shut down, going right over to Critter. A nice little bit of gold going into his pocket.
Yeah, it's a really good rotation from Hellstrom to be there.
Definitely a nice little cleanup, yeah. Like to at least to help with that cleanup was definitely beneficial to them because it doesn't allow the gold lead to completely sway. If anything, getting the shutdown on there as well ended up swaying the gold in their favor. Now Kraken Slayer is actually being up in gold, even though it's only about 300 right now. They're still up nonetheless, even though they were behind just a few moments ago.
Looks like Tom Kench sold some items and is switching from Heartsteel to Iceborne Gauntlet.
Wondering about that choice. Hold on. We see the Hex Flash being used as Kid Buu's caught out here by the enemy team, but being able to use the clone to jump away, flashing over the wall, avoiding all the ults and avoiding all the damage, but they're jumping on top of you and being eaten by the Tom Kench and W'd away. Is he going to be able to get away? Just so, maybe. Golden Pharaoh trying to chase him down, but the Flag and Drag not being used. The right combo denies him, and the ultimate from the Orianna traps him in, and Cocaine takes down the enemy jungler. Alright, so that's 6 kills to the side of NRO. Still a very even game as Tom Kench just decides that he wants to get away, doesn't want to deal with this Tryndamere who's just gonna, just keep doing that. This is probably the reason why he's looking to get the Iceborne Gauntlet. Does not want to keep dealing with this damage as the Tryndamere decides to ghost in, could ultimate, but decides not to and ends up actually giving the solo dolo over to Sergeant Slavsky. And with the top laner being dead for the side of Kraken Slayers, it looks like NRO's deciding to go ahead and take the second Drake of the game, which ends up being an Ocean Drake. Ooh, so close, but no cigar there, console. Not going to be able to try to make that steal attempt work. And that is now showing us that it's going to be a Chemtech Drake map and a Chemtech Soul that we're going to be hunting down this particular game.
And no worries, John. I understand. I've been in that situation where
Yeah.
I'm Tryndamere and I think I live. It's like, no. And then your team spam pings your ult and it's like, bro, I thought I was gonna live.
Leave me alone, guys. I thought I had it. I was limit testing. That's what you gotta tell your team every time. It was limit testing, guys. I'm glad to see though that this Tryndamere is not having as difficult of a time with the Tom Kench as I was expecting him to. It's just that because I like I said, anytime I see that champion, it's just an absolute tilter. And ooh, nice little damage there from Critter to land onto Cocaine. But it's just one of those champions that's just an immediate tilter. But I'm glad to see that he's handling it with grace, landing that all important CC on a Yukahu, but he was able to swipe himself away and not be able to get landed onto the Nautilus hook, which potentially would have definitely gained the ultimate probably from Yukahu, or at least the cleanse.
Yeah, the Tom Kench matchup is extremely difficult for Tryndamere, even though he didn't go the Heartsteel build, which is the common build I see whenever I play against Tom Kench's Tryndamere, because the thing is if you're just constantly matching the Tryndamere, you just get free free health stacks, and then you can just build like your
The flash being used, they're gonna dive you under the turret. Ultimate being used, you got caught out, but your ultimate saved you, so they couldn't actually continue to damage you. Critter being able to get away with 2 ultimates being used from the side of NRO, and it is looking like the second Rip Hero is going to be taken by the side of Kraken Slayers here as well.
But yeah, you usually like go Heart Steel and then just stack armor. Like you get your Sunfire Cape and get a Bramble Vest, and you're usually good. Tryndamere can't really kill you at that point.
I'm literally just gonna sit there. You just get to stand there. He just can't. Like it's gonna be almost like he's doing negative damage. This Tahm Kench is gonna get. That's gonna get to a point eventually, but we haven't seen it get to that point just yet. And so we're waiting to see as we start to see how it's stacking up, as the Tryndamere was already fighting, but there's also 3 members coming from around as the Maokai ultimate comes out. But the Hailstrom gonna go ahead and use his own ultimate as he's about to get spat out and killed by Sergeant Savlatsky. But the flash coming in from Cocaine to jump right on top of Critter. Critter going ahead and getting solo dolo by Oriana and shut down. Ooh, immediately another fight jumps in. This is it's a 5v3 as Yuka, who is showing some immediate killer's instinct on this Xayah, as he uses the ultimate to attempt to try to get Golden Pharaoh, but Golden Pharaoh being able to flag and drag himself out to safety, taking another kill as he goes 4-1-1 on this Xayah. But Console definitely trying to look pretty strong on the Swain as Golden Pharaoh goes down to Kid Buu, but Kid Buu not getting away as Console takes that life too.
I think if I were in John's position, I'd be rushing Ravenous second, just so that like when Tahm Kench decides to rotate, like you just get immediate hardcore map pressure. But it looks like he's opting into Kraken Slayer next.
Definitely will help with being able to do some damage onto the Tahm Kench, but it might not be the best item for right now with the potential play style that he's going for.
Yeah, it's difficult because like you want to be able to auto the Tahm Kench, but in reality it's better to just like shove the wave, and then as soon as Tahm Kench shows up, then that just means you rotate and do something else, usually.
And yeah, that's why I figured would be why it would be more important to build the Ravenous right now, or even at least like the Tiamat, to be able to get like the lane pushed. But either way though, they're all here. The entire teams are here. This is looking like this is gonna be the first real like 5v5 fight that we're gonna get in this particular match. So this is gonna be interesting, but they don't know the Tahm Kench flake from behind as it forces them off because the Maokai ultimate comes down. Golden Pharaoh gonna immediately shred it down, but slain by Deji Taco. Kid Buu using the Wukong ultimate to try to get onto him, but Cocaine gonna try to drop, but Sergeant taking down Tryndamere as a double kill as he takes down the enemy support as well, jumping in to try to get down on the Critter. The rest of the team turning around onto the Drake as the Tahm Kench chases them out. That's an immediate 3-0 as NRO go ahead and takes that fight, and they're really steamrolling the game now in their favor. Right now, the Sergeant going ahead and being able to eat down the Ziggs. Ziggs being trapped in between 4 different people, immediately getting slain by Yuka, who on this Xayah. Oh man, this is looking insane for the side of NRO. Definitely a much cleaner game than last time.
Yeah, this is not looking good. You've got a significantly beefier team. Like, it's gonna take Pharaoh a long time to be able to frontline, and of course, Nautilus having limited income, it's just so difficult because you have a Wukong that can just pull the trigger whenever he wants. a Tom Kench that can swallow anybody that's in danger or like catch anybody out that is out of position. It's just so difficult for a comp like Kraken Slayers to come back from a situation like this, given the comp that they drafted.
And that's what I was saying when it came to like their comp in the draft. It was just, it very much seemed like almost anti the comp of Kraken Slayer, where a lot of the stuff that they want to do, that they want to use to go in, would also be negated by the way that the comp just works. Like again, yes, they picked full wombo combo, but it still also is like, okay, our wombo combo kind of negates what you want to do as well. Because Jarvan goes in, well, we have literally a press a button for when Jarvan goes in, he gets knocked up, or we have an immediate go button. So there's a lot of stipulations right now for the side of Kraken Slayer for them to be able to win this game. And we do see right now Hailstorm starting to lose this fight right now to the Tryndamere, or to the Tom Kent. Tryndamere just tries to drop more on him, but he uses the ultimate to try to keep himself alive just a little bit longer. Undying Rage tries to zoom away, healing, but not going to be enough as the Tom Kent goes unstoppable.
Yeah, he has quad armor items. It's yeah, like I get the whole point of buying Kraken Slayer, but he's just going to stack armor because it's his job to stop you from split pushing. So that's why I prefer
Jarvan jumping in on top of the Orianna, and it ended up working as the Ziggs ultimate ends up taking the Orianna's life. Shut down as the Twisted Advance jumps in. Feathers fly as the ultimate comes out, and Feathers get dragged back down. Flanked from behind, but Yukahu caught in the middle of 3 as he gets up taken down, but ends up taking down the support for himself. Swain going ahead and finally getting some shutdowns. Kraken Slayer showing some life in this game as they were able to go ahead and chase everyone else down. Kid Buu ends up getting his life taken by Console C as Console C is still going ahead and chasing them down. Critter is being chased down by the Tom Kench, but the Tom Kench is now getting chased by the 2 AP carries of this team. He's gonna go ahead and jump back onto Critter, and Critter ends up losing his life. This Tom Kench looking like an absolute monster, an absolute force. Console gonna try to do what he can to be able to fight him, but it's still Tom Kench. You don't unbench the Kench, because he's gonna be coming after you. And right now, still looking extremely strong for the side of NRO. 7-1-6 on this Tom Kench. He's definitely a monster.
The amount of times that he repositioned with the W and caught somebody, that was kind of insane.
The Tom Kench doing his job. It's not just to escape. It's just to be able to screw somebody over, and he's doing a damn good job at it. I cannot stand this champion, man. It's exactly what I expected to see. Oh, Hailstorm, they caught you out here. You got both the Orianna and the Wukong chasing after you after the Xayah was able to do a little bit of damage, but they're not going to chase you down. Surprisingly, not pressing the button onto the for the Orianna ultimate to try to drag you in, which is good because you probably had the E up at any moment.
Yeah, but as I was saying before that fight broke out, whenever you're Tryndamere against a tank matchup, it's just like Hydra is my preferred go-to just for the reason that you can dictate.
Hold on, Killer having a flash out as the Swain ultimate comes down, trying to keep himself alive as Kid Buu chases him down. But the Cataclysm drops from behind, and it might have been not the best idea as Sergeant goes legendary and takes out Golden Pharaoh. But Console being able to take out the enemy jungler, going on a rampage for himself as Killer Kumquat is now sitting on low health. Killer Kumquat being now saved by Daisy Taco as the Sergeant's on the back line trying to take down Console C and Hailstorm on his own. And that was an insane fight, but only 2 people being slain on the hold on. They end up dragging him in. That was 3v1. This Tom Kench might have finally needed to get benched, and he's about to see the gray screen after 8 kills, but never mind. Not with Yukahu here to back him up, getting these feathers out as Hailstorm's now forced to go to the side. Undying Rage now being used, flashed out over the side of the wall. The Tom Kench continues to get to live, and they're gonna immediately turn to this dragon.
I will say this Swain is putting in mad damage onto the Tom Kench just because he's building to deal with Tryndamere, but who knows how long that'll last.
And it's looking like potentially like a demonic or something here is probably gonna come out next item, or maybe some type of pen to try to shred through the Tom Kench a little bit more. Kench is now starting to finally get into his MR items, so that's gonna be looking like a problem soon enough too. Like, he went the ninja tab by solely for Tryndamere. Like, the game probably would have been a little bit different if he ended up going the Merc Treads instead. But it's still really funny that, like, now he's just building AP and he's building MR and he was already a problem. So yeah, this is looking like a slight issue for the side of Kraken Slayer. Even though, again, it's only a 2.5k gold deficit, so they definitely still have an avenue or an open door. It's not like they're completely shoved out. So don't let the kills on the top of the screen fool you. Even though it's 21-9, the game is still decently close. So we just gotta wait and see how this game gets executed out the rest of the way. As right now, Sergeant is just gonna chase down Ziggs, and he does not care. Console's gonna attempt to help out his mid laner, but when Tahm Kench gets a hold of you, there's not much else you can really do other than attempt to run. But your team is here to try to help get it done. But you might have potentially killed your mid laner there, Pharaoh, with that Cataclysm, getting him trapped in there with you. So now you're gonna see your mid laner die as Console is able to take out Yukahu, going unstoppable, dishing out so much damage onto the enemy team with its ultimate, being caught up in the middle of all of them. 4 people caught in that Swain ultimate as he goes ahead and takes a double kill for himself, taking out that pesky jungler with Sergeant trying to go ahead and fight Golden Pharaoh here. Golden Pharaoh trying to keep him distracted, allowing an opening Swain to come in. Immediately, the Swain is out though, as well as Golden Pharaoh when the Tahm Kench jumps in. That was a very crazy fight, 2 for 2. Yeah, melt Kench, but game state was too fucked. I mean, it's still, even at this point in the game, it's not that bad. It's but yeah, not having something to reliably deal with TK is definitely an issue. And again, I'm only just gonna say this: I hate that champion. So you know, if this game doesn't go the way of Kraken Slayers losing their first game too, I would say probably ban the Tahm Kench. That's just my personal thing, because it's that's a champion I'll say always ban, or give it to Hailstrom. Little uses his Discord icon, you might as well. Maybe he could do some damage on it.
He does play Tahm Kench really well. I don't know. It kind of really depends on what their game plan is. Like both games, it looked like they wanted Hailstrom to kind of be a side lane menace. It's just been rough for him this game, on the Tryndamere specifically.
No, definitely agreed. And I mean, it seems like playing towards that like side lane menace, split push menace makes a lot of sense. But oh, no one see me play that champ.
I've seen you play that champ.
Well, Hailstrom, maybe it's time to actually try to bring it out here, because it's definitely tearing up on the Rift at the current moment. It's funny because the support and the top lanes are the ones that have the primary shutdowns for the side of NRO. 4-1 and 13 for the support, 8-1 and 8 for the top laner. But this Tahm Kench is a problem. This Tahm Kench is just a problem. And I forgot to mention, even when they got that Drake too, it ended up being the Chemtech Soul. So yeah, we're already looking at a minute 40 away from the Elder Drake being up, and we haven't even seen a Baron get taken yet.
I just noticed that Xayah decided to go Mortal Reminder. It's a little rough when you feel it's necessary for the ADC to get anti-heal.
Yeah, but that Swain is definitely becoming an issue, and that's something that you kind of have to be able to once again have damage reliably for. Like, they're having issues with the Swain, while Kraken Slayer is having issues with the Tahm Kench. At least both teams have some form of champions that are giving them issue, so it at least keeps the game on some type of even ground, which is why this game hasn't completely gone the way of the side of NRO just yet. And right now, it looks like they're trying to actually determine what's going to be the deciding factor for this game. And I think Kraken Slayer is saying to themselves, we need to be able to push out. We need to get more of this map claim so we can have a little bit more control. Let's try to get control around the Baron side so then we can be able to at least know what's going on and be able to fight around this Elder Drake. Because it's going to be extremely important to fight for that particular, like, just in general, that objective can literally end this game. Like, it's not even the Baron that's going to be the big game ender right now. Them having Elder Drake and being behind in fights is not going to be a good thing if NRO is able to secure this Drake for themselves. But right now with Ziggs being up from the top side, yes, he does have TP. He's TPing in now, but they're already on this Elder Drake. NRO looking to try to shred it as the Maokai ultimate comes down to try to stop them. 7,000 health. Health. Console C right now going in the middle of the team, trying to take one for the team to be able to get him. 5,000 health. The rest of the team is on top of it as Killer and Golden Pharaoh are in the middle of them during the Elder Drake, but taking all the damage. Tom Kent being able to get a double kill onto them, but Console C still in his ultimate form, trying to do all the damn damage for the fight, trying to be able to save it for his team, but it might not be enough. He's able to take out Yuka. He's able to get slain by Yuka. They finally take him out, and that's looking like, though, Hailstrom doing so much damage to their lane, to the entire base, almost taking the game right there from the back door, but they still end up getting the Elder Drake for themselves. So close. This is where you wish you brought TP, man, because then just drop a ward in there, TP to the turret, take that down. That could have been the end of the game right there, but definitely good call to try to backdoor that.
Yeah, that was a high value split push right there. I mean, yeah, you lost Elder, but I don't feel like you're necessarily in danger of losing the game just because you have Ziggs wave clear. But it'll be a lot tougher with the Baron buff. But it's a matter of if they stay on the map or not. It doesn't look like they're going to.
Nope, they're just going to try to get more pushed out of their map, which right now, Kraken Slayer actually has a lot of pressure on them. The top lane inhibitor has been taken, as well as they do have a cracked Nexus turret. They have one destroyed Nexus turret and a completely cracked Nexus turret. So at this moment, like, the back door and the sneaky shenanigans of the Tryndamere is looking extremely dangerous. As long as, like, say, for example, that entire bot side map right there, or even the top side, if you just keep the sweepers on, you make sure that it's not warded, Tryndamere could literally sneak down the entire way, potentially, and be able to take out that turret and take out the Nexus for game. So they actually have to be worried consistently, potentially, of this backdooring Tryndamere. So there's always going to be some type of fear factor, even though they're up 15 kills, even though they're up 6k gold, there's still the potential of this backdoor that could happen, and that should be a very real possibility, a really real fear for the side of NRL. There's still the possibility for them to lose this game.
If I were in John's position, I would either buy a pink or wait for your next ward and try to get a ward over the wall, because you could get Ziggs to TP in and he can do a lot of damage with you, but it would be very difficult for the remainder of the team to stall long enough for them to end with the Baron backs.
Right now, they're going to be very dependent upon Console C being able to do what he's been doing on this Swain the entire time, dishing a lot of damage, being able to distract them in these fights and stay alive for the maximum amount of time that he's able to. So then he's able to keep everybody distracted, as right now Tryndamere is currently being chased all around the map, and this is the time to try to distract them and keep their back going as the Maokai ultimate engages the fight. We saw the Wukong ultimate being used, but Kid Buu now being slain by Console C as Console C takes him down. But we do see one kill going over to the side of Kraken Slayer. Kraken Slayer now starting to show some prowess in this game. They're saying being able to really swing it over to their side as Cocaine is right now being chased right down by the Golden Pharaoh, but Golden Pharaoh not gonna be able to do it. The Flag and Drag landing the knockoff. Console C now getting another kill on the Cocaine. Oh no, Tryndamere, I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to end up. No! The Undying Rage ends up saving your life as you see Hailstrom now being chased around the entire base by Sergeant, and now the rest of the team. Ghost being used by Sergeant, trying to keep up with the Tryndamere. Tryndamere now using Ghost and E to get away, dodging out on the hook, and now trying to. Oh man, there's so much chasing going on. But right now, Kraken Slayer finally showing themselves showing a little bit more pressure in this game and pushing them into their base. Still a 6K gold lead for the side of NRO, but they still have some power and they're playing this game very well.
That's some of the most fun I ever have on Tryndamere is when you're just dancing around, making somebody chase you forever. It's always gets me chuckling every time it happens.
Can I ask, Hailstrom, like, does the Stride Breaker actually help you with Tryndamere here? Like, is that actually like a thing?
It's a lot more helpful in like range matchups. It's a little bit tougher when you're against somebody like Tahm Kench. Yeah, it helps in the sense that you can use it to slow him down to get away, or slow down like a carry to catch them, but for the longest time, there was like 2 different builds that you would do with Tryndamere. One was like Gore Drinker, and the other one was Quick Blades. But now it's Stride Breaker is the current build for Tryndamere.
Okay, so I was about to say I was thinking the Quick Blades build, because that would just be spins on spins on spins, and that would just make me dizzy.
It's the Quick Blades build is really good for wave clear, because if you go like Hydra Quick Blades, you just spin through the wave, auto a few times, and then your spins back up.
Yeah, no. Delete Quick Blades. Delete Quick Blades from the game, or delete or ban Tryndamere from using that item, because I'm good. I don't need to see his E up every, less than 2 seconds. It's already bad enough he chases you down as is and slows you down and all that extra stuff. I like how Tryndamere doesn't even have to do like absolutely good in a game to be an absolute threat. Like, this is disgusting. You're getting the pings of like Tryndamere might be here, but it's just like, oh, he's 1-5-1, but yeah, but the dude will literally just fight you. He doesn't care. Look at that, he's just dancing around you. He's just having the fun time of his life. But right now we're seeing that fun time of his life might be a distraction, as he's keeping the Tahm Kench out of the fight. Console C immediately engaging his ultimate as the Maokai ultimate comes down, him being able to be in the middle of him with no Tahm Kench. This might be the fight that Kraken Slayers are looking for, as Golden Pharaoh is able to take down Kid Buu, and now Cocaine going down too. 2 members left for the side of NRO, but this entirely cracked out Zaya is definitely going to be able to do a little something for herself, as the double kill goes over to the Zaya, and we're seeing the TP come in from Sergeant as immediately Tryndamere goes down up in that top side. Red team gets the Elder Drake, but are you going to be able to live with it, as we see the Tahm Kench is chasing you down?
He's definitely not going to stop chasing once he's able to get the W over the wall.
Oh, never mind. He decided to stop chasing. That was a very insane fight, showing that they still can potentially win this game if Tryndamere was able to stall the Tahm Kench just a little bit longer in that topside fight that they were having up there. I think that fight would have went definitely a little bit more differently, and it would have possibly ended in maybe 2 more people, maybe 1 more person being alive and being able to fight the Tahm Kench. So that would have been at least, somewhat beneficial. Oh no, Tahm Kench jumping right on top of Critter. Critter might have gotten caught shopping, but at least he was under his turret and safe and be able to get away. Right now, I think this is all gonna really come down to the Baron fight. At this point, both the teams are getting close to 6 items. If not, they already are on 6 items. We do see Jarvan on 5 items plus his wards. We do see Tryndamere getting ready to finish off his last Whisper item. We see Tahm Kench already full build. We see, Wukong is going on his 4th item or 5th item and going towards the 6th item. But definitely both these teams are looking to try to fight around this Baron, and really whoever ends up getting this one, it's so late game
that's who's probably gonna end up winning the fight. Tom Kench with no TP, this is probably the perfect time for Hailstrom to try to distract him and fight him. And Hailstrom definitely showing that he's got some fight in him to Tom Kench. Before you were messing me up, but I'm still going to be able to mess you up even with the lower health that I'm taking. I still got the ultimate ready. You're probably going to try to fight me with yours too. Ends up going into the mouth of the Tom Kench Undying Rage. He tries to flash over, misses the Q, flashes back, but ends up dying anyways. Solo kill going over to this Tom Kench. This has been insane. 12, 1, and 10 on him. He's legendary. Oh yeah, this is not gonna be fun for the side of Kraken Slayers at all. Like Tom Kench is now gonna start rushing up to this Baron fight. You really don't even want to try to fight this at this point. Like, would you? Like, if you end up trying to fight this, you lose. It's over.
Yeah, they would have had to look for something while they still had Elder buff, but I think they got a little distracted. Uh-oh.
Oh no, this is the last place that you want to be, is caught in between a Tom Kench and any other enemy teammate. Shut down going to that Tom Kench, 13, 1, and 10. Ziggs, you end up getting slain, so now your team is probably going to have to end up giving up the Baron as well. But knowing Pharaoh, he's not one to give up a Baron real quick or any kind of objective. So he's probably going to try to get behind the wall and jump in. No, he's not, because he was about to be stopped entirely by the Tom Kench. Baron goes over to the side of NRL. Oh yeah, and they're just pushing immediately into this base. They have the exposed inhib. They probably are gonna just try to push they're just gonna Baron rush these minions right into the base and attempt to end the game here. But Tryndamere right now is backing, so this might actually be a stop. Maokai ultimate is used within the base, but not landing onto anybody in any important position. So they end up being able to get this fight as Console C goes into the middle of them. A big Ori ultimate lands in the middle of the Cataclysm. That was I was talking about the anti-comp, as Hailstrom is going in the back line as he manages to get the shutdown directly onto the Xayah. 800 gold over to him as he ends up dying to Cocaine. While Console C still in the middle of the entire team. Critter ends up giving a lot of damage as Pharaoh ends up taking out Kid Buu, the enemy jungler. But this Tom Kench still very much alive and very much able to get away, but I'm not sure if he's going to fight against 3 other people. He says, I'm going to mess with you in your own base here. Try to get me. Instead, I want your mid laner. But no, Console says, don't touch my mid laner. Critter manages to get away with the satchel charge as they try to chase him down. 13, 1, and 12 still on this Tom Kench, but the enemy team was able to stop this game from being completely over. Oh man, this is I'm very surprised to see this is actually ended up being close to a 50-minute game here. Clearly both these teams like to extend their games for yeah.
Yeah, imagine if Tom Kench actually did go Heartsteel, he'd probably have like 300 stacks or something crazy.
Probably be sitting at close like, I think Tom Kench is probably what, yeah, 500, like 600 extra health, I think it is, or probably more than that, to be honest with you, per stack. Because yeah, he's just over 5k health at this point.
Yeah, he'd be almost one-shotting the anybody he auto attacks.
But listen, he still hurts.
No, he definitely does. I'm just saying, again, it's a hyperbolic statement of like what if kind of situation.
No, you're right. And right now, this Tom Kench is definitely showing what happens when that catfish can just walk up in your face. He really does not care about the enemy team there. He's just gonna keep trying to get you with these tongue lashes. They think they're right now. He's just literally sitting in the front and just letting them do whatever they want to him because they can't do anything to reliably kill him. So the Tom Kench right now being the face tank for their team and being the one to help attempt to engage the fight. He does not care who he finds. He just keeps going up against them, landing this damage, doing a lot of damage, stunning up Killer Kamqua as he's now down to just about over half HP. He's going to keep running away, but Console C is now officially here to go ahead and drop down the Swain dominance onto that enemy team. But now Sergeant found his target. He's looking to chase him down. Now the Oriana ultimate comes down. Kid Buu going in, slaying Hailstrom, and now Killer Kamqua immediately getting taken down. Console C gonna try to take this as he goes into the Zonia mode with the Swain ultimate being able to drop down a lot of damage with double kill going over to Zaya as she goes ahead and shreds him down. Triple kill going over to the Zaya as the feathers come down. That's looking like it's over. They're looking to go straight to the mid lane as they chase down Critter back into its own base. But Critter, are you gonna be able to stop this? Are you gonna be the hero? At this current moment, I don't think they're singing the song Need a Hero. Instead, it's looking like we're going to game 3. Oh yeah, that's definite game 3. Congratulations to the side of NRO taking that game 2 and giving Kraken Slayers their first loss in game 2s. There's a first for everything. And right there we saw Tom Kench dominance, and I already know that's getting banned next game. Don't ever let that champion through ever again. The Zaya definitely did a lot of work, did a lot of damage there, but this was the Tom Kench show. They said unbench him, we let him do it, and definitely a good showing from the side of Kraken Slayers. I have to give it to him, because that was looking very bleak at one point for the game, and you guys kept showing that you potentially could have completely glimpsed it back. So I definitely have faith in you guys going into this game 3, that this was just kind of like it was just like, okay, maybe some things didn't go the way you wanted it to, and once you just need to polish it up. So I think going into this next game, it's looking like a potential. It's definitely gonna probably as crazy of a draft, but maybe something a little bit more simpler to allow you guys to just basically play the way you want to play the game. If Tactic has nothing left
Yeah,
to say,
no, I'm good.
alrighty. Go ahead and immediately. Alrighty, we're jumping game 3. Silver scrapes right here for us here at Valhalla Esports for season 3, or it's season 3, week 5. As a little bit of a reminder to you all, thank you for joining us here. As we see for the first phase of bans, we see from NRO they decide to ban out the Silas, the Morgana, the Jax, and from Kraken Slayer we see them once again still target banning the jungler as we take away the Lilia, the Shyvana, and the Gwen. And NRO looking to repeat the success from the last game that they just had, giving themselves the Maokai first pick once again, a very reliable and potential flex pick for the entire team. And Kraken Slayer is getting a very interesting pick here as we see them pick up the Rel for their first pick in response to the Maokai, which with the Swain is definitely a really good combo. Both of these champions wanting to keep everyone close within them. I'm very curious to see how they're gonna wrap up this first round of pick and bans for themselves for Kraken Slayer. As the response to that is, if you want everybody to be close up together, we're going to make sure that you want to try to spread yourselves out and not be getting snared up by everyone else. So they picked the Varus, and we do see as a little bit more of a supportive pick, the Ivern comes out from the side of NRO. Kraken Slayer now on their final pick here. And we see the Garen, the comfort pick for Hailstrom once again coming out, going up into that top lane. And we do see, yup, there it is. That Tom Kench ban. Knew it was coming. We don't want to see that champion again. Bench that Kench. Malzahar then being banned. You do not get to be selected today. As we see the Camille now also being banned. And the Jarvan being banned. Even though it wasn't a major issue for them, they definitely see the problem with it that it potentially could hold. And so they end up banning it anyway. And for that, they give Pharaoh the Belveth. And we do see the Fiora finally making it past the ban phase. So now getting picked for the side of NRO. Final pick from the side of NRO is going to be another big go-in champion, with that being the Yone. And in response to the Yone, Kraken Slayer is looking like they're going to pick up here it's the Malphite to finalize their comp. And I'm guessing that's going to be a Malphite mid? Malphite mid. Alrighty. Well, with that much said, I guess we're ready to get right into the game. These two comps are both looking extremely interesting, and I just need to see how they play out.
Yeah, the NRO's comp is a little bit interesting as far as execution is concerned, because you got a couple of champions that want to move forward and other champions that kind of sit back behind, but Kraken Slayer want to do the same thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how team fights get executed from both sides.
Lethal Synergy mid.
The Summoner's Rift.
Literally, like, I had to figure it out because I was just like, where is everything going right now? Like, for all I know, they could have picked a Garen mid and put Malphite top, guys. Leave me alone, okay? My brain had to pause for a second to figure all that out, and then I had to look. We're good. We're good to
fair,
go.
no, to be fair, the Garen could have been mid, and it's like we don't know for sure until we see it on the Rift.
Minions have spawned.
And I'm all right. We're getting this interaction in the chat as everyone's saying who let console have Swain, and it's sounds like bad drafting to me. Well, as you saw, we're right now in a game 3 Lord Melkor, so that definitely tells you that the as good as it was, it didn't unfortunately work out for them. And in Critter now proving he plays Garen mid, so it could have been a potential Garen mid here. So right now, I'm gonna take my 1 point.
Yeah, you just say that you're 5-head and move on.
Yep. And right now, there's more important things to focus on, like casting this game. As we do see right now, all the lanes are obviously standard start. No one really doing any cheeky moves or any cheeky like level 2 ganks or anything coming out from either one of these junglers to potentially try to elevate or steamroll the game any further. Interesting enough. I'm very curious to see how both these comps, like I said, both these comps are way too wonky to me. There's no clear mission of what these comps want to do. It just felt like everyone was like, we're picking things that counter the other thing. So this is just looking like a bunch of, oh, I counter you, but you counter me, but then I counter you, and it's just gonna be a bunch of like traded punches. So this should be very interesting for this game. As we already see in the top lane, like Hailstrom's definitely dishing out some damage onto the Fiora and holding his own, even though the Fiora's looking like they're gonna want to try to engage a little bit more forward there with the Garen being such low health, as Cocaine then goes into his altered form to then try to get a little bit more damage down onto Critter, both of them exchanging damage, so it ends up working out. We see that honestly relatively even all over the place, even though Dainty Taco gets stunned here. A little bit of damage, so Killer definitely trying to show that, you know, not just the Nautilus here can definitely play on the Rel 2. Yeah, back-to-back 50-minute games are rough. I feel bad for them playing it. That's gotta be, but like these two teams bringing it to 50-minute games and then being like feeling as close as they were, that should definitely tell you That should definitely tell you the caliber of both these teams. It's like 43 minutes, right? For the first game, it was like almost like 43 minutes. But I'm very curious to see who's gonna end up taking this game and how long this game goes for. You guys are betting on another 50-minute game?
It definitely looks like it, just because the early game pressure is a little low. Everybody seems pretty content with farming it out, so with a few trades back and forth.
You can't even be mad about that, man. Oh, finding the Bel'Veth in the jungle with Ivern, so now Cocaine trying to rotate up to help his jungler. Ivern missing his snare onto there, so Critter rotates up. Rel going in and jumping right on top of Dainty Taco as Swain decides to get a little bit more damage down. And we're just seeing everybody just getting little scraps of damage on down to each other. Console managed to drag in Dainty Taco. Dainty Taco landing a sapling on the console. It's just everybody all over the map just getting a little chip damage here. We're probably not going to get a real big fight until probably the first Drake. Even though Critter right now being engaged upon by the Ivern and the Yone, but easily able to get away. Ivern not having a very easy way of chasing someone down. And I think that's actually going to be a part of the problem. Aside from, like, Daisy, like, you have the Maokai ultimate to try to lock people down, but where does the chase, like, where's all the chase come in aside from maybe the Yone going all balls deep in? There's not much to it for their team to really chase down. So, like, once you use your big ultimates and stuff that's supposed to lock them all down, you have no chase for it. These guys can just turn around on you, especially considering they do have some disengage ability. This is not looking the best for them, as we see the first gank really right here. Bel'Veth going up to the top side, being able to parry it away. Sergeant gonna be able to walk away from it.
Yeah, I think the angle you have to look for if you're...
Oh, hold on. Oh no, Ivern gonna land that on. That's gonna be potentially the first blood, getting them from the turret shot. First blood going over to the Ivern, as we do see a kill getting traded back over to Golden Pharaoh from the Bel'Veth. Bel'Veth now gonna be forced to fight out against this Ivern, and Ivern now getting 2 kills for himself in this top side, 2 for 1.
I think the line of play you have to look for if you're NRO is either look for skirmish plays, or if you're in a 5v5 situation, you either look for a Varus ult or a Yone ult, and then follow that up with the Maokai R and Daisy to kind of be like your follow-up CC.
And honestly, as long as it's like, if they continue to do that, it's actually gonna work. And then Fiora is also gonna become a freaking powerhouse by the end. And once again, repeat ganking on the top here as they silence and is able to barely not knock her up, and she's able to parry it away, but being able to utilizing your dashes to go around her. I don't think she's gonna be able to run away. This potentially could be the end of life. We do see the ultimate dropped on top of her, but the ultimate comes out from the Yone. Fiora not going to be able to get away as Critter uses the ultimate, going unstoppable, chasing her down, killing her for himself as Pharaoh tries to help the Malphite against the Yone. This is a 1v2 this is a 2v2 between the mid laners and junglers, but looking like both of them are going to disengage and get away.
Man, that feels bad if you're Sergeant. Is you outplayed that gank really well, and then you just get a Malphite thrown at your head.
Like, that's just unfortunate. And even if he parried the Malphite ultimate, then it would just been a Malphite Q straight to the face, and then boop, you're gone. So there was no escape from death there in any sense, as we do see an engage on the Dainty Taco coming in, but I don't think there's going to be enough damage to really be able to secure a kill there. But definitely a good chunk of damage down on the Maokai. Once again, yep, looking like a definitely slow game this time around. We're seeing the same kind of pacing from the last game as we saw in this, or was we seeing in this game, where low kills per minute. We do see high ganking potential and high gank activity, but it's not really leading to too much. If anything, is a lot of more disengages. We do see a slight lead for the side of NRO, just over 600 gold. And we do see that they're going to try to maybe balloon this lead a little bit more. Rel roaming around the top side as they're caught in between Cocaine and Kid Buu, trying to get away as they use the W to jump down. Critter sitting there trying to flake Udder, landing the knockup on the both of them. Rel ultimate coming down as the Daisy is used. We do see Garen here trying to jump onto Cocaine, but Critter ends up taking Cocaine for himself as the ultimate is dropped onto the Ivern and shut down, going over to Hailstrom. That's a really good, being at the right place at the right time, but maybe Critter might not be, as he's snared and locked down by the Varus, but able to get away. That's 2 kills for the side of NRO. They're able to take it, and looks like right now Killer wants to try to help secure more. Oh yeah, this is definitely looking much better now. We do see finally the lead swing in a real meaningful deficit finally. We see it's a 1k gold lead currently for the side of Kraken Slayers, even though the first Drake looking like it's going to go over to the side of NRO. I don't think that's something that they're too worried about at this current moment, as it's just a Chemtech Drake to begin. At this point, what are we looking to see from NRO now? We've seen, like, I like to see, like, I really like seeing these rotations from like Critter and like really following up with like the jungler and everything like that. So at this point, we do see them trying to match these, but they're not really winning these fights. So like, what do you think that NRO needs to do from here on out in this game?
It's really rough. I think in order to stabilize the game, you need to either get some gold on Yone or your gold on Fiora.
Oh, the Varus ultimate ends up missing as the Rift Herald ends up crashing into the turret.
That'd probably be the best use of resources at this point in time, but Varus wouldn't necessarily be a bad option either.
And right now, actually, yeah, because the bot lanes are actually the most even of the 2 lanes. There hasn't really been an efficient like lead built down there. So maybe right now NRO might like to try to look towards the bot lane, maybe elevating them a bit and seeing if that might be where they can actually take their advantages from. So yeah, I like the going through the Varus angle here, but that's also determinant if the Varus actually ends up being able to do the things he needs to do. But right now we're looking like we might be able to get a free kill onto him, as no, Killer is able to get away using the W over the wall, and now Ivern trying to chase down the very low health Rel, and it's not gonna equate to anything as those ultimates get used. Not gonna do anything. Rel getting out.
And the other thing that kind of sucks being the Varus in this situation is you're kind of forced to go the AP build, which if you're not super like comfortable with that build, the damage like windows feel really awkward.
Uh-oh. Fiora, you back in the wrong brush, as Garen's just gonna be able to stop you. You do still have your turret though, so you get to go back for, you get to go back in safely, but definitely back in a lot later than you wanted to. Righty, so now turret plates start to fall. Turrets are going to become a little bit weaker, which means we're going to start seeing this start to, start seeing the map maybe blow up a little bit. Not a whole lot of turret plates have actually been taken. 3 down the bot lane, 2 in the top lane, none in the mid lane. Hold on, we do see a fight as a gank is being commenced onto the Fiora. Fiora using the smite to help her get away, parrying the knockup from the Bel'Veth as Ivern is here to help protect this top laner. Now Fiora, feeling bolstered, decides to try to jump up. We do see Killer still here to try to help up their top laner as well. But Bel'Veth with the back as Swain is left behind. So we're just going to end up seeing a disengaging fight, but it's still 2 versus 2. The stun landing onto the Fiora as the snare lands onto the Rel, disengaging the fight.
I think it's really good for a killer to be looking for these roams onto high threat targets.
Which I'm sure he's like looking into, but currently just like mitigating anything that this Yone is able to do is just as fun to watch him do though too, because it's just like, oh, like once he starts roaming, oh, hold on, we're seeing, yep, Ivern, yep, good job Hillstrom getting away from there. But we do see the Malphite now starting to roam into other places. Like they do see that the Drake is coming up. They decided they don't want to give up the second Drake, so they're trying to definitely fight around it. But I do see a fight breaking out being a potential like bolster for them, as the knockup not landing, meaning that Pharaoh wasn't gonna go in, but still keeping 2 people up there by himself, Hailstrom, as he's just gonna sit under the turret and wait for the heal. Fiora not going back, Ivern being up topside. They're probably just gonna end up giving up that Drake. Yeah, this is looking like an NRO Drake here. Oh, Maokai. Oh man, that would have been really funny if he manages to steal it with a sapling right there. Hailstrom going in. Oh man, look at him spin! Waiting for it to come down, and he drops it on him, but is he gonna die to... Oh, that minion? Nope, the flash needed to get away from the minions. He's gonna barely live. Solo Dolo going to Hailstrom against the Fiora. Oh, Ivern, are you sure you want to be there? You don't know if that Malphite has that ultimate up. He could just immediately drop right on top of you. Oh, hold on. You don't want them to get that second Rift Herald. I get that. Maokai ultimate comes down. Pharaoh's out of the pit. Pharaoh's not going to want to let this go down. He's going to attempt to steal it. He ends up getting the steal, but he ends up dying for the Rift Herald as the Rift Herald Eye goes ahead unclaimed. They're going to try to keep him off this Rift Herald Eye, but keeping an objective out of the clutches of the side of NRO, not half bad to sacrifice your life for. Now Garen coming here to try to stop the death of Killer Kumquat, but not going to be enough as he has to die and Garen has to get out. Critter caught between the cocaine, the Yukahu, and the Dainty Taco, not going to want to engage any further. Oh, but we do see Garen now flexing his stuff as he drops on top of the Ivern, but it's not going to be enough as you still have 4 teammates that are all right there. Right now we see not too much going on. Definitely a lot of solo fighting going up in this top lane. Hailstrom definitely flexing his stuff on the Garen, wanting to be able to get as much damage down on this Fiora as possible. And then Fiora sometimes taking some pretty interesting like fights and just for some reason getting shredded and taken down. But now it's a 2v2 as both supports and top laners are here together, and it looks like right now the junglers and the rest of the team are navigating their way up towards the top side as the Rel decides to try to keep the Fiora in. Fiora ends up being on the wrong side of her parry, and she's not gonna be able to get away potentially as the Swain comes down trying to lock you down, getting you taken out, and so does Dainty Taco too, as Hailstrom and the Swain end up getting kills for themselves, and they end up getting no one for it. Critter now also chasing down this Yone. Yone not really able to do any damage to him as his armor is just stacked up. That Iceborne does not make it fun as the ultimate gets whiffed.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Right now, Kraken Slayer is now finally flexing their muscles a bit, being able to get a lot of this extra damage down on the turrets, being able to take those kills up in the top side and balloon themselves forward from 1k gold lead up to now 3k up. The oofs in the chats. Critter calling him out right now, saying he didn't want that smoke. Alright. I like to see the energy. And right now, I don't think Dainty wants any of that smoke either, as he's being chased down by the support and the enemy jungler, as Golden Pharaoh goes ahead and takes the kill onto the enemy support. Oh, man. This is not what you want to see here. Now they're just kind of taking over the map, and oh no, Yukahu having a flash away from the Swain. That could have been the end of your life right there.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh man, that's a lot of autos being dropped. Then the Malphite ultimate coming from a round combo with Console C. That's gonna be the end of the Yukahu's life as we see them going in and continuing to engage. Kid Buu not gonna be able to get away. You're just the Iron Timber as the tree gets chopped down. Double kill going to the big old bird of the Swain. Well, that's the dragon Swain, not the bird Swain. But you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, this game's looking really rough for NRO to even attempt to come back into.
Yeah, it's not really any lane is really looking in particularly strong, or like they have some kind of like comeback mechanic at this moment. They once Kraken Slayer managed to get like some leads up in the top side, they just continue to balloon it. And that was only just a few, like literally like a couple minutes ago. So this is going to be very interesting to see how they develop this. But we did see both these teams show that they can. Both the teams have shown that they're able to. I don't even really know how to say it. They have like comeback kid mechanic on themselves. Like, oh yeah, we're behind right now, but we might be able to completely swing this around. So we'll see what ends up happening. Oh, hold on. Console C caught between between his own turret and the Yone, but the Yone not gonna be able to engage anymore. So looks like that's just fine. And Pharaoh doing pretty well on the Belveth. And he lands that one too, as he goes ahead and goes full in right onto Cocaine, being able to land the eat from the Swain. But Cocaine gonna be able to barely get away as Critter's gonna be slain. Cocaine getting shut down onto the Malphite. But now Console C has everybody right where he wants him as Pharaoh goes in and slays out Dainty Taco, getting a double kill for himself, having to trade Critter's life for 2. That's going immediately. It looks like they're trying to swing over to the Baron. Oh yeah. No, I don't think they have the ability to do so unless Garen comes up there. But yeah, they're going for the Baron here.
So I hope all captains are taking notes that it's criminal to allow Console C to play Swain.
Critter's over here with the crazy puns. Let them have it. You guys want to guarantee the wins, that's why. It's definitely a dangerous champ, and the consistency in which he's been landing like these snares on people. Oh lord, it's not even fair at this point. Like, this is what like. So I didn't know there was 2 Swain mains that everyone bans Swain against in this league. At first I thought it was only Deity, but now I'm seeing why Console C is also another Swain to be feared. And right now they can't even fight this Garen 3v1. This is looking like a real problem at the moment.
In the previous league, it used to be that Anivia was the go-to ban champion because everybody mained Anivia.
I mean, that champion was kind of busted. Hold on, the Varus ultimate being used, but not really amounted to anything as it managed to lock down console C, but not long enough to get any type of meaningful damage onto him. So they just end up taking that mid turret instead. Oh boy, the Fiora just can't catch a break. 0-4-2 right now, and they're just having to run away as Pharaoh and Hailstorm are just chasing you down. Sargis, Savlovsky, you go ahead and you fought hard. You just cannot be allowed in this lane anymore. They don't. If they don't get you a kill, they're chasing you away. That's just what's going on right now. You know, I'm glad to see that Yukuhu went to cleanse on this Varus, but man, it's still looking kind of rough.
Personally, I wouldn't have gone cleanse on this particular build, but like I understand why, because
Console's in the middle of his ulti as we see a fight engaging with Golden Pharaoh going on an immediate rampage. They try to take down Console C, but double kill going over to Pharaoh, saving his AP carry. Pharaoh feeling big, decides to jump right on top of the Varus, but jumps back out from under the turret as Hailstorm decides to dive on the turret directly onto Yukuhu. Yukuhu getting chased down even more, but silenced. Not enough damage coming from Hailstorm as he's gonna have to walk away because Daisy's on his trail. But blue team, or our red team's gonna be able to take down the blue side turret and continue to push down in this mid lane. The minions and the voidlings all over the place. Look at him shred down that turret.
it's gonna be interesting to see Belveth with the new Rift mechanic that's gonna be in the next season. She'll have her own personal voidlings, then on top of that you get the voidlings that spawn if you get enough of those whatever those worms, the like worms were called, yeah,
the void crawls. And then I mean, actually, Pharaoh, you're in the chat. Go. You probably already know what that's all about. You can just give us a quick explanation. Knowing him, he likes to study up on everything for champion changes. So, yeah, that'll be pretty interesting to see what he has to say. But
well, technically, that's not a champion change. It's just a change of the map.
True. Which I just mean it kind of incorporates a slight change to her mechanic, if anything. That's kind of like I think that's how I'm trying to word it. Not trying to sound smarter than I actually am. I think I just worded it terribly. But right now they're just all on Hailstorm's trail. Unfortunately, caught in the middle of them. That's gonna be a shutdown going over to the Varus. Much needed goal for him, and that's his first kill on the board. Okay, so if you get all 6 of the new Void Grub camps, you get a permanent turret damage buff and randomly spawn Void Grubs similar to Belveth's minions.
Well, so what I was saying, and I think maybe Pharaoh missed part of the conversation, but essentially what I'm saying is, like, say for instance, if you're playing Belveth and you get all 6 of the grubs, then would she spawn the grubs and then also her void minions, or are they gonna get rid of that? Because that sounds a little busted. But if you see a Belveth on the enemy team in the new season, I would assume you're like not letting them get all 6.
That's what I want to figure out on the PBE. So maybe you have some people going to custom game with you, or a practice tool in the PBE somehow, and just accelerate it just to see if you can emulate it real quick. But we just saw that an objective bounty was claimed up in the top side as Fiora was able to claim the inner turret on top. But Critter is immediately on this Fiora's trail, and I don't know how easily she's going to be able to get away against a full armor Fiora. The Iron ultimate being dropped as Daisy's going to be trying to keep Hailstorm down, but Hailstorm has backup with Golden Pharaoh right on top of him. They're going to try to take out Daisy. Now, the 6th member of the side of NRO is now down, and they're now pushing into the mid lane. $6K gold up. They're looking right now like a really strong. They're looking like a really strong unit at the current moment. Cocaine going in and immediately Killer getting eviscerated by Yukahu as he goes ahead and takes that kill, pulling them in. Now being able to get that ultimate for yourself. Console's gonna be going big as Golden Pharaoh's now dominating onto them. Yukahu trying to get away, but Console going on a rampage as they try as he goes down. But now Critter having to try to 1v1 the Fiora, not looking like the best idea that he's had as he calls for help. Critter currently being chased, having used the ultimate to escape, but Fiora not gonna stick around as they don't feel like they can fight the 3v1. Oh, yep, here we go. And once again, there's no one around. They have the perfect time. It's looking like this Baron is getting taken for the side of the Kraken Slayers. And that's going to be even ballooning themselves even further in this gold lead. And they're probably going to try to end it off with this one big Baron push.
Yeah, it's looking a little rough for NRO, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is looking like, unfortunately, a slump point. They need to, again, this is where it was one of those games again that I was saying, like, who counters who and who plays the counter better. And yeah, every lane had some way they countered each other, but it was all a matter of how did the team end up playing. And right now we're seeing how this team's gonna end up playing, even though Hailstrom almost ended up activating the Fiora ultimate, and now it's gonna be Kid Buu getting caught in between a Rel and everybody else, but Rel instead ends up getting shredded down and she tries to distract them. Yukahu ends up killing Kumquat, but the Fiora's gonna end up going down to the Swain, and now the Swain is trying to chase down the rest of their team, but not gonna be able to lock anyone else down 1-for-1 as Belveth is now in the mid lane trying to take this turret, teleporting to the void, to the little voidling, as Critter is now going to try to help them. They're trying to distract them, trying to stop them from backing, but we got so many minions right now in this mid lane. Hailstrom is just going to try to push in to chase them down and see if he can stop them from being able to get to him. This is looking like potentially the end of the game here. Malphite too tanky to stop, where they can just focus on those turrets and then focus on you right after. Belveth once again getting another double kill, going godlike into past domination, now legendary. You're looking like another win. Kraken Slayer now taking that series 2-1.
Really well played. You had 2 long games. It gets a little mentally taxing running long games.
I don't blame them. Like, if anything, like, I can see, like, maybe NRO put a lot of energy into that 50-minute game, and potentially, like you said, it's mentally taxing to go through a 43-minute game, then a 50-minute game, just over 50-minute game, and then now you just, like, that's why we see this game probably kind of went a little bit quicker, because everything just kind of, unfortunately, they faltered in some spots. And people got to play their champions, people got to do the things they wanted to do. I want to give props to Pharaoh for being very active on the map. I want to give props to Console C in both games for being this like really big factor on this Swain, and just overall Critter doing what you needed to do. Very well done by Kraken Slayers. Anything else you guys want to fill in for these for the good folks out there? I know it was a lot of talking and a lot of casting that went on, but if you guys,
I'm working on an MVP poll real quick.
ooh, okay.
If it's not console C, I demand a revote.
I know Tactic wasn't getting mentally drained just from casting him. Alright, polls up. Who do you think the MVP was?
Right now we're seeing 2 votes.
All right, 2 votes for console, 1 vote for Pharaoh, and a vote for Killer. The second and third games were so long, everyone forgot about my Silas. Nah, that Silas was clean. That was a real good Silas. That we can't forget about those. It's just that in the second game, amongst the craziest situations, like we gotta take the whole. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. But we gave you MVP of game 1, so that matters, right?
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, you hard carried game 1, but I mean, as soon as console C decided, hey, they're letting me have Swain, I'm gonna play some Swain. It kind of he kind of popped off, so it is what it is.
Yeah. Listen, Farrah, at least you got yourself an MVP vote. You should be happy. All right? Cuz yes, I think we gave you props for that first game where you were actually doing stuff as the Udyr. You're good, man. You good. You can't win them all. You can't win them all. Give the one trick his one trick and he is MVP.
And so, I mean, whose fault is that? Not mine.
That you had to talk to NRO about that one then, cuz that was all on them.
Just a draft issue. Unlucky.
Can't win them all, never wins a single MVP vote. Listen, me and you are both in that same boat, buddy. So it's all right. Alrighty, there's probably about another 30 seconds or so left on the voting. So if you want to get your MVP votes, once again, top laner Hailstrom, jungler Golden Pharaoh, mid laner Critter, ADC/AB carry, console C, and Killer Conquest on support. If you guys want to get your votes in, please do. With about another 15 seconds or so to go.
No one cares
And
about top lane. We all know it doesn't matter.
top lane is the island.
I was just
It's
third
okay.
and try to split push.
Listen, you almost won all of game 2 for them entirely. Like that's something we can't discount.
I almost saved their record.
But unfortunately, you guys had to lose that game 2 to try to win the game 3, and the official MVP for these games goes to Console C.
Can't see if he's around. Not hearing back. Well, thank you guys for casting the games. It was fun. If
Thank you as
anyone's
well for having us.
interested, we could definitely run some in-houses tonight. So just sign up for the in-house queue.
And with that much said, I guess we're gonna call it. I know everyone's voices are a little bit tired right now, especially my own. Down with a little sickness myself too. So let's go ahead and get to the ending screen. By all means, everybody, don't forget to also drop your Prime subs here if you haven't already. Don't forget to join the Discord and the league itself. And with that much said, it's been Tactic, Hellstrom, and Malco. We will see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.